Welcome everybody. So I am here today to talk to you guys about a movie that I'm really interested in, one that I really love, and that is Timeline. So Timeline is a movie that's based off the Michael Crichton book of the same name. This takes place within that same universe, and basically what happens is they basically find in France a wormhole in modern times to the past, and basically Paul Walker, Gerard Butler, as well as a variety of different cast and characters star in this film. This is pretty much a time travel movie, so if you're really into like science fiction movies that deal with, space and time and how those things interact, this is definitely going to be one of those movies that you'll definitely be interested in. There's some science in this thing, so I think that fans of science will definitely appreciate this film. Basically what happens is they discover this castle, they lift it up out of the ground, and they notice that there's an ear chopped off of one of the people that is kind of etched into the side of this tomb. It's pretty much a couple, and you later find out that it's one of the two main characters of the film, but their father, who's an archaeologist, who's basically examining this building, trying to figure out who these people are, why they're here, kind of what their whole standard of living is. He's basically just a archaeologist and trying to figure out, what happened during this battle. While that happens, he mysteriously vanishes. Paul Walker and the team don't really know where he went to, except for when they go digging in the castle and later find his pair of glasses. This leads to him come to the conclusion that maybe his father somehow managed to get to the past. They are contacted by a government agency who brings them in for pretty much questioning. They showed him the time machine that apparently his father went into, and from there they decide that they need to make a search and rescue operation to go back into the past in order to retrieve Paul Walker's father and bring him back. Paul Walker is this character in this film that doesn't really want to continue the legacy of his father. He doesn't want to have anything to do with archaeology. He kind of wants to just ride motorcycles and ride vehicles and stuff. Pretty much the same character that you see in Fast and the Furious, but unlike that character, he eventually succumbs to the whims of his father when he goes missing, and ends up actually coming to enjoy sort of the archaeology type of this story. So once they finally make it to the past in 15th century France, they learn that there's two warring factions going on, and these two ideologies really don't see eye to eye with each other. They really hate each other, and they accuse one of the main characters of being a spy and end up killing him. These set of events where they capture Paul Walker and his team, and they eventually hold him up in a cell. This leads to the battle sequence later on at night, where his father is basically used as sort of a pawn to build this new type of weapon, this weapon that can pretty much turn the tide of the war. And so this is drastically changing history and events that fold. This weapon he promises to one of the bad guys that, will definitely seal the deal on in terms of winning the war. This doesn't actually end up playing through because Paul Walker and his team foil the plans by escaping and eventually meeting up and rescuing. I really liked all the actors in this movie. I thought Gerard Butler was awesome in this film. I thought Paul Walker did an amazing job. I thought some of the supporting characters did an amazing job. I think all the casting choices they made for this film really worked hand in hand. I liked the fact that they kind of went and built a castle in a valley where they could kind of like use it as a set, and it looked legit to the time period that it was supposed to be in. The armor and the visual effects really did sync really well to this film, and this is one of these movies that whenever I want to escape from reality, I kind of go back to. I like the fact that this kind of resembles Stargate in a way where they at the beginning of the film send in a drone that kind of goes back in time, and basically they figure out that they're in a different time position entirely within the film, and that it doesn't really align with their modern time period. I thought that was pretty cool that they kind of brought in a little bit of a science aspect to it. Wormholes and time travel kind of interest me in a way because it's something we don't have currently in this point in time, and I know it's something that could probably be invented in the future. Yeah, so I'd really give this movie probably about a B. I think the visual effects and stuff still hold up to this day. I think if you're looking for a good time with an adventure movie, this is definitely one that you should check out. There's a lot of cool explosions, a lot of cool action sequences within this film. The dialogue is, pretty much perfect within this story, and I really like the fact that they based it off a Michael Crichton book, which Michael Crichton created Jurassic Park and some of my favorite, novels of all time. I do have the novel. I still have to finish reading it, but, there's a little bit subtle differences between the movie and the book, but, that's pretty much the case with most movies these days. But this is one of those movies where I think complements the book in terms of, the story and the characters while trying to do something a little bit different from that. So I would have to give this movie a B. I think this movie deserves it. I think you guys, if you can find it on DVD or Blu-ray or can check it out online somehow, this is definitely one that you should see. You won't be disappointed. When I originally went into this theater to see this movie, my dad took me and a friend to go see it, and we weren't really sure what was going to happen within the film, but coming out of the theater, I really did enjoy myself. I think my entire family pretty much liked it. So yeah, I would highly suggest that you watch Timeline. And as always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.